Have you ever got confused while dealing with the real estate transaction in UAE relating to the taxation, be it VAT or corporate tax? In this video, let's understand when you are doing any sort of transaction, be it residential or commercial property, how the VAT regulations are applicable, how corporate tax law is coming into the picture. Let's understand in detail in a simplified way. My name is Firoz. I'm CEO of Flying Color Tax Consultant and Auditing. I'm also an FTA approved tax agent for both direct and indirect tax. First, let's understand on the VAT aspect. Let's make it very clear that VAT is on transaction and corporate tax is on person. Means when it comes to VAT, it doesn't matter it's a company buying property or an individual buying property. When it comes to corporate tax, it doesn't matter whether it's a commercial property or a residential property. Let's understand it clearly. First, let's discuss on VAT. As I told you, VAT is on transaction, means it's on the type of property. What could be the real estate properties situations? First, let's discuss on bare land, which is empty land. When you are dealing with any bare land in the UAE, when you purchase or sell, the VAT applicability, it's an exempt transaction. So you are not going to collect any VAT or you are not going to pay any VAT when you purchase any bare land. What about residential properties? When you sell any residential property, do you require to collect any VAT from your customer? Or let's say when you purchase a residential property, do you need to pay any VAT? Answer is no. Residential property transactions are exempt from VAT. There is only one exception to this, which is mainly to support the builders. I'm not getting into that. In general, you can keep your understanding very clear that when you buy a residential property or when you sell a residential property, the VAT is exempt. About commercial property, are they also exempt? Commercial properties are in the VAT scope. Means when you purchase a commercial property or when you sell a commercial property, these transactions are subject to the standard rated VAT, which is 5%. Make sure when you are purchasing any commercial property or when you sell any commercial property or even when you give the commercial property on rental, these transactions are subject to the standard VAT rules and comply with the rules in order to avoid hefty penalties and complications. I have come across so many situations where individuals, they own commercial property, they get rental income below 375,000 dirhams. They have not registered for VAT. Now they are selling this property for 2 million dirhams or 3 million dirhams. And they are going to the land department, doing the transaction, done and dust. And they are telling there is no VAT requirement. It's wrong. Like when you're selling a commercial property, it's an obligation that the VAT is paid. Regardless you are registered for VAT or your buyer is registered for VAT, Emara Tax Portal is giving an option where you can go manually enter all the details and make your VAT payment. So any commercial property transaction, make sure that you are complying with the VAT regulation to avoid penalties and future complications. This is all about VAT. Just to summarize, land transaction exempt from VAT, residential properties exempt from VAT, one exception which is for builders, commercial properties which are subject to the standard rated VAT. These transactions, it can be either purchase, sales or lease. Now let's understand on the corporate tax side. In VAT, it's on property, commercial, residential, empty land. Is it the same in the corporate tax? Answer is no. As I told you in the starting of the video, corporate tax is on person. Means if you are a natural person, individual, owning the real estate asset in your individual name, not through a trade license, then when you give it for rental or when you sell the property, the gain what you are getting or the rental income what you are receiving is not subject to corporate tax in UAE. That is not the case when a property is owned by a company. When I'm telling a company, this is also a clear misunderstanding in the market that if a property is owned by an offshore company, let's say a RAK company or a Jebel Ali offshore company, they are not subject to corporate tax. It's wrong. The moment a property is owned by an entity, that entity is subject to corporate tax. Whether it can be the rental income or the capital gain when you sell the property, both the things are subject to the standard rated corporate tax. In short, if you are a natural person, you have a real estate investment, you are not subject to corporate tax on the income which you are getting from your real estate. Versus if you are a company owning any real estate in UAE, be it residential, commercial, bare land, empty land, the moment you generate any income from your real estate by way of rental or capital gain, that is subject to corporate tax. There is only one way where a company is owning a real estate property can get the tax benefit. How? You can have a foundation in the UAE where your foundation can own your real estate asset, and you can apply for a tax transparency where the FTA will not tax your foundation. FTA will tax you as an individual, and there is no personal income tax in UAE. Do you want to know how this is possible? Are you curious how you can save corporate tax when your properties are owned by your company? You can talk to me. I will leave my contact details also in the description. Thank you for watching the video. I will come back with more interesting topics. Till then, bye bye.